Sige, let us continue. This is already chapter 5. And we will now discuss alkalimetry. The same process, the same formula, except that this is alkalimetry. So, baliktad na yung sample and yung titrant. Okay? So, again, we will discuss the alkalimetric method of titration. And we will differentiate between direct and residual alkalimetric titration and also calculate problems involving alkalimetry. So, to define what alkalimetry is, this is direct or residual, okay? Kagaya ng acidimetry, pwede din siya direct, pwede din residual or indirect, titrimetric analysis of acids using a base. So let us differentiate. When you say acidimetry, the sample is a base, the titrant is an acid. This time, for alkalimetry, the sample is now the acid, and then the titrant will be the base. So please take note of that, and I hope you will not interchange the samples and the titrants for the two methods of titrimetric analysis. So again, let us give emphasis to that. Direct titration, the sample is an acid and then the titrant is a base. So let's have the first one. Calculate the normality of the sulfuric acid using 22.15 ml of it. The volume of NaOH used in the standardization was 20.75 ml and its normality was 1.1055. So this one is a new problem solving actually. Pero this is still applicable sa acidimetry ha. Actually, in this type of problem, we are not going to use normality is equal to weight of the substance divided by the volume times the milli-equivalent weight. Because as you can see, we don't have the weight of the sample here. Instead, the given for our sample, which is the sulfuric acid, is in ml. Okay? Though given yung sa titrant na normality, this one, and the volume. Pero again, wala tayong weight of the sample for our, wala tayong weight ng ating sample. So ano yung gagawin? If you encounter this type of problem class, actually, yung applicable na formula dito is hindi new sa inyo kasi pinagdaanan nyo ito sa PharmCal. Yung C1V1 equals C2V2, which is the formula for dilution process. Ito yung formula, di ba, sa dilution process natin. Like you have here the C1 for the titrant, both concentration and volume, and this will be for the sample. So, we have here for the first concentration, for the titrant, it's 1.1055 normal times the volume. The volume is 20.75 ml equals, for the sample, the C2, we are looking for this one, the normality. And then the volume na ginamit for sulfuric acid is 22.15 ml. So just multiply this 1.1055 times 20.75 is 22.939125 N times ml. Sa kabila, C2 times 22.15 ml. So divide both sides with the 22.15 ml. Cancel this, cancel the ml, you will be left with the normality. So 22.939125 divided by 22.15 is, let's round it off to 2 decimal places. This is 1.04 normal. Okay? This is the answer. Okay, very good. 1.04 normal. Okay? Again, when is this formula applicable? This one is applicable if we have both the normality and the volume of the titrant. And for the sample, the volume is given and we are looking for the normality or even the molarity. Pwede din siya sa molarity as long as we are looking for the concentration. Okay. Do you have questions or clarifications? If you are studying QC, you can write all the formula in an index card and be familiar with them. But during the board exam, you cannot bring index cards. Syempre, bawal. So you really have to be familiar with all our formula for QC. For QC alone ha, kasi you have different formula for FEFARM, for FarmCal, and all the other math subjects. Oh, especially the BioFarm. Iba din yung computations doon. So I suggest you try doing that in an index card or in your room. You may like stick notes in your wall for you to be reminded always with all the formulas in the world. Kasi it's a scam to say that pharma doesn't have mathematics. Daghan kitag math. Pati concentrations at mga solutions, it will be our problem. Kung kailan gagamitin. C1V1 equals C2V2 is used if the volume and the normality of the titrant are given, and at the same time, the volume of the solution. Instead of the weight of the sample, the volume of the sample is given here. Diba? Most of the time, if we are going to compute for the normality and even the molarity, yung always na given is yung weight ng sample. This time kasi wala kang makikita na weight of the sample dyan sa problem. Instead, it's the volume of the sample. So that's the time you use C1V1 equals C2V2. Okay? Anything else? Wala na. Okay, so how about this? At 25 grams, this one is sample ha. A 25 gram sample of sodium bicarb consumed 15 ml of 1 and nasaag din ako mga problems. This is acidimetry since the sample is sodium bicarb and the titrant is sulfuric acid. But nevertheless, let's just try to solve the percent purity of the sodium bicarb using the same formula. Okay? Sige daw, let's see. Daghan kitag problems, no? Tanaw na to kung ano jud ba. Para sa mathematics, we don't really study a lot of things. Instead, we practice. So, mo na nga daghan ta og sample. You just have to identify what is the sample and what is the titrant, but you will be using the same formula. Okay, while waiting, wait lang ha, let me just close our door kay silaw kay nakatubang ko sa sun. As early as now, you start preparing for the boards, ha? You start with collecting your notes from the subjects you were already done, especially the chemistry subjects, para hindi kayo makulangan ng time. Kasi di ba nag-move yung board exam, that will be on November na. So, gagraduate kayo since nag-move din yung calendar natin, gagraduate kayo ng May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's just 6 months of review. Minsan kasi nakukulangan sa 6 months, sa dami ng subjects natin. And then, di ba, the latest board exam, 38% lang yung national passing rate. So, sa sunod na tanin yung mag-chill na RPH na ta. Kamu deh. RPH. Kalimot. The boards will be difficult since naka-online class. Lisod jud ang online class man. You think it's some students think actually na okay masyado yung online, kaya pwede ra sila mangupya sa quiz, sa exam. You can browse your notes, you can even Google during the exam, pero makapasa jud mo kaya lang itong problema din paabot sa exam, sa board exam and good. Since nagsalig ang mga students nowadays, they did not learn the concepts by heart. Kaya pwede ra mangupit sa exam. And then when you have your review, lisod, kay balik mo sa sinugdan. You have to learn everything pa sa sinugdan pa yun. So 6 months will not be enough for it. So I suggest na do not be complacent and masyadong lax sa online. As much as possible, if you have something na hindi maintindihan, you can always ask your teacher for that para ma-clarify. And dili ta magpatulog-tulog. Bisag lami na jud kay itulog kay naratas atong balay, naratas atong higdaan. Let the board exam be your motivation para maminaw bisag boring na kayo. Okay, yun sa answer, ano 5.04, 2.52, ano to? Most of you answered 5.04. Let's see. So what is our sample here? Our sample, 25 grams of sodium bicarb. Therefore, our titrant is this one, 15 ml of 1N sulfuric acid. And since we only have one titrant, anong tawag dito? Direct titration. Direct titration, ito ha. Actually, this is acidimetry, not alkalimetry. Since this one is a base, and syempre this one is an acid. Okay, pero the same formula, percent purity is equal to N times V times MEQ weight. Do not use the N times VA minus N times VB kasi para yun siya sa residual titration. Okay, percent purity ang hinahanap kung gaano ka-pure yung sample. Siyempre yung ideal 100% pure pero hindi naman talaga ganun yung case most of the time. Pero pwedeng magsobra. Actually, if you are going to look at the USPNF, in United States Pharmacopoeia and National Formulary, nandoon lahat yung standard and specification for our chemical substances or our drugs and ano yung acceptable purity limit. Minsan umaabot siya ng 105, 110, and then pwede din siyang bumaba up to 90%. Merong mga ibang chemicals na hindi masyadong strict na pwedeng 80% yung percent purity, acceptable pa rin siya. Pero let's see with the sodium bicarb. Sodium bicarb is used as an antacid pharmaceutically. Okay, antacid. So the normality here is 1N. Let me just use 1 MEQ per ml. The volume is 15 ml. The milli equivalent weight, this is NaHCO3. Actually, this is 84 grams per mole. Pero for the sake na hindi tayo mawala, let's just compute for the molar mass first. So this is 23, 1, 12, 16, 48, 12, 1, 23. So this is 84 grams per mole. And if we're going to compute for the MEQ weight, we need the molar mass or the molecular weight divided by the F times 1,000. So you have here 84 grams per mole divided by the F for sodium bicarb is 1. Sodium is positive 1. The whole bicarbonate ion is negative 1. So this is 1 times 1,000 MEQ per mole. So cancel the mole. This is 0.084 grams per MEQ. So we are going to use this one here. Divided by the weight of the sample. The weight is 25 grams times 100. 1 times 15 times 0.084 is 1.26. Let's cancel the units. This one. Grams. Okay, divided by 25 times 100. So the percent purity is, okay, 5.04%. So hindi pure, hindi talaga pure yung sodium bicarb in this sample kasi sa 25 grams, 5% lang yung sodium bicarb. So the rest may be other pa na mga, kung sodium bicarb kasi, if it is in a tablet, one tablet, example 25 grams siya, yung 5% lang ang sodium bicarb, the rest can be excipients. Okay? The rest can be excipients. Kasi diba, when you're going to make a tablet, aside from the active ingredients, we have excipients like disintegrating agents, lubricants, glidants, and so on. So ang mas marami dyan yung bulking agent or the filler. Okay? Sige. Yung mga hindi nakakuha ng 5.04%, what happened? Nangyari dyan. I think you used 2 for the F. Bakit nahati yan? Lang. Wala. Depende ang ginawa nyo dyan. Bakit hindi yan 5.04%? Okay. Do I still have time? Yeah, I still have time. Okay. Sige, let's have this problem. A 4.0520 gram sample of hydrochloric acid, the density is 1.18 grams per ml, required 44.15 ml of 0.9035 normal sodium hydroxide in a titration. So calculate the following. First, the HCl content in percent weight per weight, and also the normality of the HCl. So dalawa yung i-compute natin. Sige, you try solving this. Let me see later. 4:20. Makulangan na tap ng time. Ganito na lang. Let this be your assignment and we will check it next week. So any clean sheet of paper, as long as it is clean, I'll just provide a submission bin in Schoology where you can submit your assignment. So again, this will be assignment number 1. So this is number 1 and I will include this one as number 2. Magkasunod sila. I'll be giving you a copy of this slide also, so don't worry. Okay. Again, this is number 1 and this is number 2. Any piece of paper. And then we will have a quiz next week. Si Dimetri, yung ating quiz. Let's separate the quiz for alkalimetry since I am not yet done. Oh, just wait for the special quizzes since I need to make new sets of questions for that. Okay? So that is actually my dilemma if everybody cannot take the quiz on time. So as much